burst up through the skin. Is that thing working?
I think so. The red light's on, at least.
Good, that should shut him up for a bit. That way I can do my job. It's bloody ridiculous.
I mean, it makes sense, though, doesn't it? If we both, they'll still know what you know.
Firstly, I don't think what I know is worth a damn to him. And secondly, it's distracting, knowing that those white robes will be listening to every word I say.
Well, I guess there's no use complaining, right?
Too right. No one will listen to anything I say anyway. Well, except you. To be honest, I expected you to turn up in trainers. I'm glad you had the sense to get some hiking boots like I said.
Well, they really weren't cheap, so they better be good.
Bloody hell, are they new?
Well, yeah,
You bloody moron. It's called a charity shop. You could have got a pair never worn for a tenner because some middle-class prick thought he'd travel the world but didn't get further than Ipswich. So how much did you spend?
Well, 50 quid?
50 quid. Jesus Christ, you silly bugger. Bet that hurt your bank account.
Yeah, I am in overdraft again.
Tell you what. If you do good, I'll give you 30% on this job to get you back in the black.
Really?
Absolutely not.
So, where are we going exactly? All you said earlier was Bracken.
We're gonna follow the A470 until we get to the Story Arms. That's where we're gonna start walking.
How far on foot? I mean, it's pretty dark out.
About 20-25 minutes to the original sighting. Thankfully, they don't wander much once they've sprouted, so we shouldn't need to track it or anything.
Wait a minute. You should start from the beginning since we started the recording late.
For God's sake. Fine. Right, from the beginning then. And tell you what, we'll use this as a test to make sure you've been listening.
Really?
Yeah, now listen up. 4 days ago, a man by the name of Stephen Rogers was reported missing to the police in Powys. When asked by police, his wife said that although he'd been acting normally for the most part, he had suddenly taken up an interest in hiking. The police initially brushed this off until one of the Masons in their group picked up on something. Steve always walked the same trail twice a day, every day, always on his own. Now, that alone wouldn't be too suspicious, but each time he went, he'd be gone for longer than the time before. That's when the white robes got it. The police closed off the trail and a gamekeeper went in to get a rough idea of what we're dealing with. At this point, there's still a good chance it's absolutely nothing, but luckily for us, and unluckily for Steve the poor bastard, it didn't take too long for the gamekeeper to get a sighting. A fairly man-shaped figure walking a circle around one spot at about a 10-meter radius and slowly expanding the ring outward with each pass. Where this individual patrols has begun to sprout small saplings of alder, beech, oak and dogwood. The figure is covered in wood-like growths. There are so many that his left arm has become trapped against the body. At the end of these growths, there is a visible coppery brown staining scattered around the floor and mixed in with some of the roots as shredded pieces of mixed fabric. And finally, at the uppermost part of the thing, 2 of the roots have formed into branch-like antlers. So, kid, what do you think we're dealing with?
Okay, so the roots and the antler-like ones at the top would mean it's probably some kind of fae, right?
Good.
But the fact he was just a normal man before this would mean it's some kind of curse?
Keep going.
Fae curses can be transferred by touch, so that's what the man catchers are for. And I'm guessing you made them with cold iron?
Yep.
So we're gonna hold it in place while we burn it with the petrol bombs, but don't you need to kill a fae with cold iron?
And you were doing so well. But no, fae have a weakness to cold iron, but almost everything has a weakness to fire. Most would put a sprig tree down, then burn it, but I found it's quicker and safer just to hold it away from you and then just burn it. You see, although a sprig tree doesn't react to people in general, if the roots are damaged by someone, it'll run straight at them. So it's much better just to secure it in place, nice and gently. Then, when you've got a good hold at a distance...
But what about the guy?
Look, it's It's not pretty, but if he's not already dead in there, he soon will be, and this way is a lot less risky. You don't get to be my age in this job by being gentle. If you try, you'll just end up being burnt alive by the next man.
God damn.
It can't be helped. That's the job. We're nearly there. Turn that thing off.